Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you're doing? And welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing fine. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon, guys. Please, before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash a like on the video. If you guys could do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. You absolute legends. Now, guys, look, you know what? This is fast becoming the worst transfer window in Manchester United's history, guys. It really is. And I don't think we can argue otherwise. I think it is getting let me just straighten this up a little bit, get more of my torso in and stuff. I think it is getting a little bit really rocky grounds, guys. It's getting really bad and getting really worrying. I mean, you know, as much as we're hearing names being floated here and there, I'm still a little bit, disillusioned by what's going on. I'm not happy. I want to, I just feel a little bit worried for Ruben Amorim and worried for this football team. Rumours circulating today about Garnacho. Garnacho could be leaving the football club. Some are saying he might go on loan. Is that good enough for Manchester United? Do Manchester United need to start selling some players? Are we going to sell any players? One thing we haven't done this summer so far is sell any players as much as we needed to sell players. The only players that have left the football club are players whose contracts have expired and they've no longer got any, ground to live on in regards to staying at the football club. For example, Evans, Lindelof, Ericsson, whose time was up at Manchester United, of course. Now, why can't we sell players? Why do we not have the ability? Not only one, we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players we can't sell. 5 players have openly been on the transfer list for a while now, and none of them have left the football club. So what does that mean? Now, I did predict that Garnacho is the most likely one to leave the football club. I hope it is on a permanent deal, although, if we send him on loan with an obligation to buy, would you take that? We all know what happens with obligations to buy, don't we? Those obligations to buy don't really have much weight, do they, to be honest with you? But you know what I would say is that maybe if Garnacho goes abroad, goes to another football club, starts banging in the goals, maybe we can bring him back. Maybe that can happen, But it's not ideal for what Man United want to do, because Man United need to make money, apparently, because obviously Ineos and they're penny pinching and they're broke, apparently, and stuff like that, isn't it? So look, my biggest concern is this. My biggest concern is the fact that, we've sold no one. And these guys have gone completely quiet. They've gone missing. They've gone in hideout. They haven't spoken. And we all know how outspoken these guys were before the preseason started, didn't we? We knew that they speak a lot and stuff like that. But guys, I'm going to bring in something a little bit more softer in regards to football. Football, because that is what we're here for, is the football. Don't you miss the days when we used to talk about football and football only? Was it? It was just all about the football. That is what we used to love, isn't it? Back in the 90s, before the Glazers came in, it was all about just the football and who we're signing. Now, Manchester United apparently have last season had scouts looking at Lucas Beraldo. Lucas Beraldo is a player who currently plays for PSG, not first team, but he is a rotational player who currently plays as a defensive midfielder for PSG. He is a Brazilian. He is a 21-year-old valued at around 25 million euros. Now, guys, what do you make of a transfer like that? I like it. I do. If Man United managed to pull something like this out the bag, I would like it, because Man United need a midfielder. He's pretty cheap. It's not too bad, to be honest with you. So Lucas Beraldo has also been linked with Manchester United, but also linked with other clubs in regards to a transfer. Now, in regards to this, what we have to do, snoozing and losing, as we talk about many, many times, is that we cannot snooze and lose. We have to, if we're going to do it, 4 cats of Brazil, good player, get it done. Because at the end of the day, look, we're fed up with saying that we're linked to this player, we're linked to that player, and nothing materializes. This is a very affordable player. Lucas Beraldo, Manchester United, great player, very affordable player, of course, guys. Now, look, this doesn't mean that, I'm completely giving up on Ugarte. I think it's very unfair on Ugarte for what happened last season when he was brought into the football club without a pre-season, which obviously contributed towards his inconsistencies on the pitch. It's very important, as we've been banging the drum all summer, about how it's Ruben Amorim needs to get his players in before the start of the season, because he needs to get a little bit of time with them at least. We were hopeful for the 19th of July, weren't we, against Leeds United? I mean, how wrong were we? How far off the mark were we? Absolutely not. We were hopeful about that. But yeah, Lucas Beraldo, absolutely brilliant player, linked with Man United, defensive midfielder, 21 years old, 25 million euros. Got kind of experience at PSG, so that's great. He's playing at a big club over there. So there you go. Another player of the conveyor belt of players that we are being linked with, of course, guys. Let's get into some of your comments. I hope you're all doing well. Bless up everyone in the stream. I hope you're doing well. And good to see you. Of course, Jamie, good morning. How you doing? Price has gone up, Sal. We're pissed about too much. I mean, look, at the end of the day, Man United are their own worst enemies, Jamie, you know, and we'll keep falling victim to our own incompetence, Jamie. And the problem with Man United, the thing is, Jamie, it's always been 70 million. Let me just tell you, Jamie, right? It's always been 70 million. It's always been around that mark with the incentives. It's always been around 70 million. The problem is, Jamie, is that Man United don't want to pay a big chunk of that money, which is about 60 million up front. Man United don't want to pay that. They want to pay in installments. And this is where the disagreements have been coming. It's always been around 70 odd million. You know, but Man United just don't want to pay a big chunk of the money up front. You know what I mean? Which is, you know what? Look, if they didn't want to do that, no, the biggest concern for me, Jamie, is that if they didn't want to do this, that they should have done that month ago. Said, look, we're not going to pay that amount of money. We can't afford that amount of money up front. We want installments. We want to give you this every single year. We have to walk away from the deal. That is what Man United should have done. But now, because they dragged this transfer on so long, they've got to the point of no return. You know, so they can't turn back and say, oh, you know, we're going to walk away now, because we've wasted nearly 50 days on this transfer, guys. 50 days on this transfer. You can sign a whole team in that time. Do you know what I mean? Big up, John. What's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. So, did you see Teddy said about Rashford? Teddy was spot on. Yeah, I said that. I saw that a while ago. Was it when Teddy Sheringham said about, you know what, he doesn't see him coming back or something like that? I might be wrong, but I'm not too sure. Maybe that was Ryan Giggs. Big up. I'll have a look. Jamie, afternoon, chat. How are you? Big up, Jamie. Hope you're doing well. Big up, everyone who's joined me today. You absolute legends. Mate, I was hungry. Big up, Jamie. Big up. Slap up the meal. This burgers got onions rings on it. What are you on about, Jamie? What's going on, sir? What's going on there? You're making me hungry, mate. Jim, I sometimes think it's hard to support in this club, especially the transfer window. Just I want it to be better. How can our owners see what other clubs are doing and think it's okay? Don't they get it? I honestly think they don't care, Jim. I'll be honest with you, mate. I honestly don't think they don't care, because I think they're only concentrating on the regeneration project. What I believe is going on is that they've been told, like, listen, the fans are going to moan, just ignore them. That's what I'm thinking at the moment. It's very obvious that you're going to get these sinister sort of thoughts in your head about them, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they actually really do care about the football club, but they've got a funny way of showing it. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, when they start doing these things, you know, these sinister things start getting in our head, and we start getting annoyed, and they don't care about this football club. And look, you know, and it does evidently seem that way, because we're looking at Liverpool, and we're looking at Arsenal and Chelsea, and they're acting like a team who came 15th last season, and we're acting like the team who won the league last season or qualified for the Champions League last season. And that's what disappoints me the most. You know what I mean? Because, you know, they are improving, they're getting further ahead, and we are static. Cunha's not going to make a big difference in regards to if Liverpool keep improving, Chelsea keep improving, City keep improving, Newcastle keep improving. Heck, Spurs and teams like that. Look at Sunderland's window, for goodness sake. You know, we're going to fall further and further behind, guys. Absolutely. Big up, Steve. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Big up yourself. Hope you're good. And big up, Danny B. What's going on, brother? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Kenny, breaking news bomber. Jim Ratcliffe has personally met Brian Mbeumo to get his eyebrows shaved. Oh, you jokers. Can you imagine that? Who's shaving the eyebrows? Is it Mbeumo shaving Jim's eyebrows, or is Jim shaving Mbeumo's eyebrows? Which one is it going, guys? Absolutely. Jim's got very long eyebrows, by the way. You're going to have to bring the cutters. You have to bring the cutters, guys. Absolutely. Big up Bilal for the super chat. Absolute legend. Yo, girl, what's good? Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you for the support and your generosity. You absolute legend. I hope you're doing well. I'm very well. Thank you, my friend. I hope you're blessed. Of course, guys. Big up. Saviors, afternoon, sir. Any latest news about Man U? Just said it. Lucas Beraldo, linked with Manchester United. Now, guys, look, you know, one transfer that is looking like it's got legs. One transfer that has got legs is the Emi Martinez transfer, the goalkeeper of Aston Villa. Now, Manchester United could get Emi Martinez for as little as 25 million. Obviously, there was rumours a few months ago about Emi Martinez going for 40 million, which was obviously too much money for a player of that ilk last year of his contract and blah, blah, blah. But Man United could quite possibly get Emi Martinez for about 25 million, which I don't think is that bad. I don't think it's that bad. Would he be my first choice? No, he would not be my first choice. He is not my first choice goalkeeper. I would not want him as my first choice goalkeeper. What I say is that, anyone at the moment is better than Onana. I'm sorry, Onana. I don't mean to be mean. I don't mean to be cruel, but it's true. Anyone is better than Onana right now. I personally would have given Vitek a chance. I think over this pre-season, we got a chance to see Vitek play. And hopefully he can shine. Hopefully he has good games. And hopefully he gets some game time next season. Maybe we could save that money and play Vitek. Obviously, Ruben Amorim doesn't want to throw a young goalkeeper in the mix. He doesn't want to throw him into the deep end in regards to the Premier League because it's difficult. But definitely getting a new goalkeeper and getting another guy between the sticks is very important. But then it begs the question, what happens to Onana? Onana is a very, very valuable asset in regards to how much is being paid, how much we paid for him. He's expensive. So what's going to happen? He's refused to leave. He doesn't want to leave. What do we do? And again, this is where we needed a full Sal, Glazers out and stuff like that, because we could have just said to Onana, here's your payoff, goodbye, sayonara. We could have done that. Now, look, I don't know about goalkeepers, but one thing I do know is that goalkeepers rarely improve. When they get to 27, 28, once a goalkeeper is what he is what he is. He's not going to improve. He's not going to get any better. I remember watching David James many, many years ago playing for Liverpool. And as much as I thought, David James could be a great goalkeeper, but he always had that bozo moment in him. And it never left him. It never left him. He was a good goalkeeper, but he always had that bozo moment in him. I remember watching Man United against Liverpool at Anfield back in like 1996, 97 time. And he went coming for crosses and missed it. And Andy Cole just had a header in. Empty net and stuff like that, so goalkeepers seldom, improve, and that's the thing I would say about Onana. So Onana staying doesn't make any sense. He's not going to come in and start shining again because he's tried and he's just got that bozo moment. It's part of his personality. That is what he is as a goalkeeper. Unfortunately, he's the kind of goalkeeper that makes mistakes, sadly. Do you know what I mean? Big up, Saviour. Big up, Bilal. Of course, good afternoon, Sal. Other teams are feeling for us. It's depressing this window. When other teams start feeling for us, that's when there is a problem, isn't it? When other teams start feeling sorry for us, that's when the problem happens, isn't it? That's when we're in a bit of a crap, isn't it? We're really in a bad place when other teams feel sorry for us. I don't want them to feel sorry for us, to be honest with you. We got our own problems. We'll deal with it. Let them concentrate on themselves. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, we'll get there. We will get there. I think we will get there eventually. But you know what? We're not going to get there like this. The way we're currently acting right now, we're not going to get there. But Ineos need a big wake-up call. The Glazers need a wake-up call. The Glazers are loving this, by the way, because the Glazers are hidden behind Ineos, and Ineos are taking the slack. Well, they should do. I'm not saying they shouldn't do. They should do because they're the ones who facilitate the Glazers. They knew that the Glazers were problems. They knew the problems at this football club. They knew the magnitude of the problems at this football club before Jim Ratcliffe took his vanity project. If Jim Ratcliffe was a Manchester United fan, he would have known this. He would have known that Man United need a full Sal, Man United need the Glazers out, and I cannot offer that. Basically, that's what should have happened. He should have walked away from it and thought, you know what, I can't offer that, so I'm going to walk away and let Qatar buy the football club. Ineos would Glazers would have sold the football club. Absolutely would have sold the football club. They cannot afford the football club. They cannot afford the infrastructure, the rebuilding of the squad. They couldn't afford it. They run out of money. Right, so basically what it was is that they needed someone. Unfortunately, Ineos came along and gave the 27% for an extortionate amount of money, and they loved that, because they looked at things from a valuation point of view in regards to 10 years, as apart from a current point of view in regards to receiving 5 to 6 billion straight away. They're thinking in 10 years we'll make 10 billion. They're thinking like that, do you know what I mean? Rather than getting 6 billion straight away. That's how greedy they were. And that's thanks to Ineos. That's thanks to him that we got in that situation. I wanted him before PSG signed him. Absolutely, Danny B. Danny B is the man, guys, when it comes to players. Big up Danny B. Yeah, look, I've heard about him before. Lucas Beralda, absolutely, yeah. And Danny, there's going to be more. I mentioned a few earlier on as well. There's going to be more players that are going to be coming out of the woodwork in regards to players that come from South America, young players out there that are really good at scoring goals and stuff like that. But Man United seem to be ignoring that market. And I don't know why we're ignoring that market. I don't know why we're completely neglected it. It's really sad that we're doing that. We seem very tunnel visioned in regards to what we want to do. We seem very, very clueless in regards to scouting. Losing out on Mastantuono, one of the players that we could have got as well, because we snoozed and we lose. We took too much time. There are other players out there as well. Echeverry, who went to Manchester City, of course, who I was a big fan of as well. Again, we missed out on him. We were too slow. We were snoozing and losing. Now, look, Lucas Beralda is a good player. Obviously, it's very difficult to break into that current PSG side, given that they've got João Neves and they've got Vitinha. They've got some good players in that PSG side. So it might represent an opportunity for Man United to get someone like Lucas Beralda, who is obviously a quality player, into the football club. And not only that, get him into the football club at a relatively decent price. Absolutely. Big up, Danny B, my friend. Big up. Steve. Hi, Jim. Big up, Sal. I think we all know the club has exposed itself in having no liquid cash, only asset cash, with the time taken to getting Bruno deal done. Steve, they have cash. Ineos have. Ineos have probably exposed themselves for that. But what happened to the 4 billion that they were going to buy Chelsea with, mate? You know what I mean? What happened to all that money? You know what I mean? It's all excuses, mate. It's all water under a bridge. I don't really care what they want, what they have, what they don't have. All I know is that I've got evidence that they've got money and they don't want to spend the money. They don't want to spend their own money on the football club. They want to spend the club's assets, basically, the club's money on transfers, which is wrong. You look at Todd Bowley, what he's doing at Chelsea at the moment, and the way he's selling the women's team to himself, his own company, to try and balance the books in regards to FFP and PSR and things like that. Do you know what I mean? And finding loopholes. You can always find loopholes, Steve. They're billionaires at the end of the day. You can always find loopholes. Of course you can, So, definitely. Centre back, left foot up. He's also a defensive midfielder, Danny B. He's played in defensive midfield as well over his career. He's played in defensive midfield. Actually, quite a decent defensive midfielder as well when he was playing for Sao Paulo. He played many times for Sao Paulo, of course, on the centre midfield position. Very, very talented, versatile player. It's something that Man United could use. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So, look, Man United are going to have to do deals like this, Danny B. Man United are going to have to find players that are multi-positioned. They can play in various positions and things like that. Man United are going to have to try and do something like that, of course, because we're not going to get every single player that we want, So we're going to have to try and kill two birds with one stone, of course. Absolutely. Ephraim, I do not want this player. He's terrible. Us defending Beraldo. I don't know about that, mate. He's all right, Ephraim. Don't worry about that. Don't remember what happened when we cheated De Jong. This is what happened about signing Bumo. If we had failed to sign him, let's move on to other players. Yeah, well, that was under Murtaugh and Woodward, wasn't it? So at the end of the day, Sal, is there any news about strikers? Nothing at the moment, my mate, Ephraim. I hope there was. I wish I can give you some news about strikers. There's nothing at the moment. The only news I'm hearing about at the moment is Emi Martinez. I've heard the story about Beralda. Of course, I've heard the story about Garnacho being linked with various clubs and stuff, which, is good for Man United because obviously it could boost the price and stuff like that. I haven't heard much in regards to a striker. We're looking at the pool of strikers at the moment. Obviously, we lost Osimhen, we lost Gyökeres, Mateta, and Isaac are still available. I don't think they're going to come to Manchester United at this present moment in time. When you think about Man United right now, are we an attractive proposition? We have to ask ourselves, are we an attractive football team? Are we attracted to potential suitors? You know what I mean? Definitely not. Yeah, Sao Paulo, my friend. Sao Paulo. Yeah, he came from them, my friend. He came from them. But obviously, what I would say, Danny B, it's always going to be difficult for players to go to from Sao Paulo to the likes of PSG. This is why, the French league is very funny. And, this is why I would say that. It doesn't mean that the player's not talented. Do you know what I mean? And, he's got ability. He's obviously got huge ability. So, working with someone like Ruben Amorim, it might be doing good. It might be good for him to work with a guy like that. Do you know what I mean? And he might improve. You know what I mean? Now, Jackson, in regards to Jackson, Man United Jackson, the only striker that we've been linked with this last couple of days is Jackson. What I would say is that Jackson has 20 appearances for Senegal with 1 goal. You look at Rasmus Højlund, he's got 28 appearances for Denmark and he's got 8 goals. So where are we going with this? Look, so at the end of the day, we need to find someone who's actually prolific. You see goal scoring, right? You see goal scoring. Goal scoring is a natural thing. It's something that comes naturally. You can't just practice it. You can get better, but you can't practice it. You've got that thing about you. You put the ball in there, and throughout the levels, you've been a prolific scorer all the way through your youth academy, through your international level, everything. And, when I see 20 caps for Senegal, and you got 1 goal, I don't really see something that is prolific, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, look, that's the only striker we've been linked with. Scary, but can Ruben Amorim work with Jackson? Can Ruben Amorim make Jackson into a good player? Can he, this is what we're going to be looking at the end of the day. Myself, can I be honest with you? I would honestly just stick with Chido Obi Martin. I'll stick with Chido Obi Martin, probably Musa, bring him up from the youth team. And that's what I would do, to be fair. I would do that, rather than just, bringing in another player that is a maybe. Do you know what I mean? He might come good. Do you know what I mean? A problem is Man United last bid of 55 million. It was 60 million. I think they'll take it. Man United's last bid was 55. It was basically about 55 million. But it was with incentives, lots of incentives. But basically, what Brentford want, they want more money up front. So Brentford want up to 70, so 70 million with incentives. So what they want at the moment is about 65 million up front with about 5 million in incentives, which comes to about 70 odd million pounds. That's what they want. Man United are unwilling to give about 65 million at the moment. They're unwilling to do that because that's an extra 10 million. That's quite far apart when you think about it. 10 million, that is quite far apart given how much Man United are, So Man United want to give them 65. They want to give them 55 billion plus incentives, which were equal to 70 billion anyway. Man United are even willing to pay more money for a longer duration of the payment. You know what I mean? They're willing to pay up to 75 if Brentford allow them to pay in installments. So that is one thing. I think they are saving his wages to not allow him to as a businessman. I don't know, mate. I don't know. But now we're getting pretty precarious. It's going to be pretty bad business to do that, because at the end of the day, when you're thinking about players coming into the football team, they're going to have to train. They're never going to have to get used to the tactics, the formations and stuff like that. So it doesn't make business sense to do that, because eventually you're going to lose out, because the player won't be ready when the season starts against Arsenal. You know what I mean? So it's a tough one. Big up, Randy. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Freddie B, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up, Sal in the chat. Big up yourself. Hope you're blessed. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Of course, Ephraim. They are bringing manager only can solve every problem. They do not know about football. They don't know about football. I've come to a conclusion a long time ago that they don't know about football, and we could have told them that a year ago. When the takeover process was happening, we could have told them that, you don't know about football. We told everyone that they don't know about football. They're just blagging it. They're chancers, and they're taking their opportunity. They are. Jim Ratcliffe is a vanity project merchant. And he just wants his name up in lights. That's basically what it is. This is why he was inquiring about Barcelona. He wanted to buy Chelsea. He wanted anyone, to be honest with you. He wanted to buy any football club that was available, and basically tried his luck with Chelsea, was rejected. Chelsea is smart, obviously. They rejected the offer. And I bet they're loving it right now, Chelsea, the fact that they rejected Jim Ratcliffe. What a close shave they had there. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. LT, big up LT. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Good to see you. Do you think reports of Ghana and Villa links and us being linked with Martinez may be a possible solution for us to get pure profit from Ghana and get a goalkeeper as well as result? Could be, LT. Could be. And that's a very smart comment, my bro. At the end of the day, it could be. Man United could use, obviously, Garnacho to basically pay for Martinez. You're basically going to pay for it, isn't it? So that's fine. That's great. If you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone, we get a goalkeeper. Garnacho leaves. That's great. It's not ideal for me. I would have much preferred to get Martinez and plus get money for Garnacho. But you know what it is? At the end of the day, what Man United are in no position to be negotiating now. Man United are in a position where we have to try and do something, because this is getting very, very bad. In regards about strikers, news about Ollie Watkins keeps resurfacing again. And now Ollie Watkins, I'm a big fan of Ollie Watkins, especially in his first season, and he went to the Euros. He's done very well. I'm a big fan of Ollie Watkins, guys. But one thing I'll say about Ollie Watkins, we should not be paying 50 million for Ollie Watkins. That's too much money. 50, 60 million for Ollie Watkins. Now, guys, this is what I talk about. People are talking about how we're overpaying for Mbeumo. No. if Ollie Watkins is worth 50, 60 million, who had a poor season last season, and Mbumo's worth 65 million, who scored 20 goals last season from number 10 position, there you go. It's value for money. Pay the money for Mbumo, get Mbumo in, and then I'll be happy with you doing what you like in the striker department, maybe getting an Ollie Watkins, which won't be a bad idea, in my opinion. It's obviously not a Gyökeres, it's obviously not an Osimhen, but you know what? It is something, isn't it? You know, that's what we need to look at. I do believe that with Cunha and Mbumo at the football club, it would improve whoever plays at the number at the top. I think it would improve Chido Martin. I think it would improve Musa as well. And I think it probably improve Rasmus Højlund as well with Cunha and Mbumo. I would like to see that happening. I would like to see what can materialize with that. Now, Man United need a midfielder. Man United need a right wing back. Man United need a defender. Man United need a goalkeeper. We've got a lot of work to do. I don't think we're going to get everything done. I personally don't think we're going to get 2 more players in. Probably 1 more. If we're lucky, we'll get 2 more in at the way we're going at the moment, the speed in which we're working. What we're going to get, I think we're getting Mbumo. I think we'll get a goalkeeper right now. Maybe we might be able to pluck a striker from somewhere and manage to buy a striker and find a striker that actually can put the ball in the back of the net, which is very rare these days to find a striker that can actually put the ball in the back of the net. It's not like the 90s, what it used to be when players used to, you know, be everywhere. Strikers were everywhere, weren't they? Absolutely. Big up, Kazi. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. So 20 times is not that bad at all. Cheaper than it's good. Absolutely, Kazi. It's a fantastic price for Martinez. It's a very, very fantastic brand. We could do a deal with Garnacho as well. We save money. Full profit, isn't it, at the end of the day? So, look, you know, it is a better deal for Manchester United. And, yeah, we will get Martinez. Absolutely. And, you know, that will be good for Man United. But the only thing is, which I'm a little bit concerned about, is giving Garnacho to Aston Villa. That's going to bite us on the backside, isn't it? You can see it, that's going to bite us on the backside. Getting Garnacho to Aston Villa is, you know, you can see what's going to happen there, can't you? That's the only thing I mean, I'm a big fan. I like Garnacho. I didn't want this to happen. This is what I didn't want to happen. Do you know what I mean? Jamie, I rate Beraldo. Big up, Jamie. Me too. Sal, did you see this Pardew said Man United will be relegated? He's talking shit. Look, I saw that interview, Ephraim, in regards to that. The caller rang in and said to Alan Pardew, do you know what you're talking about? Do you know about what Man United's problem was last season? It was not conceding goals. It was scoring goals. Yeah, because we conceded, 54? Aston Villa conceded 47 or 51, isn't it? And then I think Newcastle conceded 47. So he got contradicted. He got made look like an idiot. It's not what he thinks, right? This is in regards to people like Alan Pardew, who had absolute prats anyway. He wasn't the one who was dancing on the sideline. Do you remember when he was dancing on the sideline when he thought he beat Man United in the FA Cup final, but Louis van Gaal scored him along with Jesse Lingard? You know what it is, right? I don't think he thinks that's going to happen. I think he wants that to happen. And that's the difference. I think that is what someone like Alan Pardew wants. He wants Man United to get relegated. It's not that he thinks logically that Man United are going to get relegated. He wants Man United to get relegated. Look, I'm not saying that down the line, you know, things could get very bad. I don't think it'd be as bad as last season. I think it was a one-off. And look, I'm not saying that Man United are going to absolutely storm the league and run up the league. I think Man United could possibly come, you know, mid-table or something like that, which is disgusting anyway. But you know what? Alan Pardew is just nonsense at the end of it. He's just a nonsense guy. Nonsense talk. Need to stick to talking about Crystal Palace and stop talking about Manchester United because he has no bloody clue at the end of the day. You know what? These guys, Alan Pardew, all these absolute clowns, right? They wished they played for prime Manchester United. They wished they had an opportunity to play in Champions Leagues and stuff like that. They wish they had the opportunity. They're just jealous. And that's what it is. Because over the years, they've had hatred for Man United because we've won it all. We've seen it all. We've won it all. Okay? Regardless what happens in the future, I would never have that taken away from me because I remember every single moment. And I've seen things that other fans, Crystal Palace fans, could only dream of. You know, at the end of the day, look, I used to work with Crystal Palace fans and Crystal Palace fans who used to tell me, oh, you know, what do you know about football? I said, listen, right, a Crystal Palace fan talking about success is a bit like Louis van Gaal talking about hair and shampoo. That is basically what it is, you know. So that's what you need to remember. A Crystal Palace fan or a Crystal Palace ex-manager talking about trophies and stuff is a bit like, you know what, Erik ten Hag talking about shampoo, isn't it? Look. One thing I'll give him, though, he does know about relegation. So let him talk about relegation because he does know about relegation, doesn't he, at the end of the day. Big up, Ephraim. Freddie, Sal gave us an inspiration, sweet something encouraging because I'm feeling the lowest look. At the end of the day, what I would say, Freddie B, and what I'll always bring into Manchester United, being a Manchester United fan my whole life, I've loved this football club ever since the 80s, all right? And I'll say this really with my heart, and I'll say it, guys, because I've loved this football club my whole life. Okay, in my first love, my football club, right? And what I would say is that we've been through greater adversities than this, all right? We've had people taken away from us. Our football team was destroyed in 1958. We went on to win the league in 1963. 5 years later, we won the European Cup, the first English team to do so when no other English team believed in the European Cup. Let's remember that this is why we sacrificed ourselves. There's going to be a lot of people doubting Manchester United. Ever since we were relegated in 1974, people have doubted Manchester United because we came back and we became the best team in the world. We caused all these people problems. We caused them a lot of pain. But one thing about Man United, the cream will rise to the top. Man United will be back, guys. I don't care about who's the ownership. Ruben Amorim's army will take this club forward. I believe that. As long as Ruben Amorim can cut off the nonsense on the behind the scenes, we will get to where we need to go eventually, guys. I believe that. And I think that we have to believe, because belief is all we have at the end of the day. You never know what's going to happen. You never know. We might be pleasantly surprised, guys, at the start of the season. In football, I've come to understand that, football doesn't deal with absolutes. Football isn't exclusive with everything else. And, it's just this. Your Karius goes to Arsenal. Arsenal going to score lots of goals. It doesn't work like that. Football never works like that. Personally, I think Arsenal have far more problems. I think they got this problem, a mental problem. Do you know what I mean? So, look, we never know what's going to happen. The best thing to do, and I will try my best to be positive. I'll try my best. I'm not going to be overly zealous, obviously, because of the ownership, what they're doing at the moment. But I do believe that Man United will surprise a lot of people next season. And not because of the ownership, not because of Ineos, not because of the Glazers, but because of Ruben Amorim. I think it will surprise a lot of people next season. And I think Cunha will be a big part of that. Absolutely. Big up, Freddie. John, what's going on, my friend? Leeds United is just feeding off rejects. Big up, big up. Johnny, Alan Pardew ain't wrong. We are biding our luck in the league for years. We don't get this club sorted. Don't listen to Alan Pardew, Jamie. He's talking nonsense. Man United are not going to get relegated right now. They're not. There's too many crap teams in the league to get relegated. That was a one-off because we had the thing. Don't over-exaggerate, Jamie. Don't jump, Jamie. Don't jump to the narrative, the hateful narrative of Alan Pardew, because that is what it is. It's hateful, not a logical thing. Man United not getting relegated, Jamie. That's just sensationalist bullshit. Trust me. Man United might come mid-table, which is wrong anyway. The problem what happened last season is that Man United put all their eggs in one basket. They ain't got anywhere to put the eggs now apart from the league. So we got one game a week and we'll move up that table probably. Ruben Amorim's army will be good next season. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. It's not all about just, transfers. So I want to know what is the conversation when he came to United. So I want to know what is the conversation when he came to, who, Ephraim? Clarify, mate, clarify. Martinez is just an elderly escort to take accompanying Jim to the bingo. Mark, come on, my guy. Big up, Mark. Tuanzebe has a massive case against the club. Could be prepared. A shitstorm coming. Man United have got shitstorms coming left, right, and centre, Jamie. I mean, obviously, Tuanzebe had a problem with Man United. Clinical negligence. That's what they call it. Clinical negligence. No shit, Sherlock. I mean, at the end of the day, we've talked about the medical department for many, many years now, haven't we? Wasn't it Luke Shaw who was buying the physiotherapist a bottle of champagne every time he used to turn up late for physiotherapy? Man United are an absolute mess, and that's coming from the top. Do you know what I mean? Absolute shit show. Absolutely. Big up Danny B, my friend. Big up my guy. I hope you're well. Of course. De Jong is best forgotten. Big up. I get you, Jamie. De Jong didn't want it to join us, but Mbeumo is desperate to join us. De Jong's wife wanted, big up George, De Jong's wife wanted to stay in Barcelona, which I don't blame, to be honest. He wanted to stay in Barcelona, fair enough. De Jong's wife wanted to stay in Barcelona, wasn't it? So, absolutely. Jamie, the medical team is finished. The club about to see how disgusting this football club is and why players get injured. It's been going on for 10 years. I've been saying it. Big up, Gaza. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Hope everything is blessed with you. Good to see you, Gaza P. Big up, Gaza. Love the name, mate. Love the name. Ephraim, smash the like, subscribe. Thank you so much, Ephraim, you legend. Of course, we should be looking at Wallace Yan or Felengo. Listen, Danny B. We need him on a scouting team, guys. We need Danny B on the scouting team. That's what we need. Absolutely. We do have the ugliest owners, though. Saw these inbred Yanks in one. We do have the worst owners in football. Pound for pound, Mark. Pound for pound. I know that they're ugly. I know that. But, I mean, I'm going to be talking about they do look very, I'm not going to say it on it, but pound for pound, we got the worst owners in general as a package in the whole of football, in my opinion. I think in the whole of football, we've got the worst owners. Hands bloody down. We've got the worst owners. Absolutely. Pound for pound. The club ruined that Angel Taxil's tends to in Sabi's career. They've ruined a lot of careers, haven't they? Wait till that Sturt comes on the medical team. There you go. I've already said it, guys. Taking bribes, things like that. Don't need them. Guys, Sal, we did not finish 15th with the Glazers. That is a big red flag about Ineos. Yeah. The one thing you could say about the Glazers, guys, and I hate the Glazers, right, is that they spent money. And the thing is that Ineos have come in now acting like a Glazer 2.0, right? It's like the Terminator 2, which is a very, very shit version of Terminator 1. So basically, what it is that the Ineos have walked in and they've turned the Glazonomic sort of atmosphere into a complete Glazers, but light. Glazers light. So basically, it's Glazers light, Glazers without spending any money. Now, the only saving grace for Ineos, for Manchester United, was that Glazers spent money, didn't they? Realistically. We just wanted them all to go. We want them all to leave. We could have had them gone. Just to believe that. We could have had them gone. Do you know what I mean? Oh, goodness me. Jamie ruined Malacia too. Yeah, I mean, Malacia wasn't very good though, Danny B, was he? 15 million, 10 million, it wasn't very good. Yeah, absolutely. You got to want it though. What did Jose Mourinho say? What did Jose Mourinho say? Let's remember what Jose Mourinho said. He said, there are some players at this football club who get a little bit of a knock and they're out for months. There are some players at this football club who get a big injury and who carry on playing. Culture, wrong. Completely. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. But I'm not letting the medical team off the hook because the medical team are a big problem as well. Absolutely. Damien Leacher, another one with Casemiro. Yeah, look, the problem is with Leacher, Danny B, and I'll say this. Leacher, you can see his injuries. So Leacher would twist his knee or something like that, and you will see him twist his knee. So Leacher actually goes in for dangerous challenges. He's done it throughout his career. The problem is players like Luke Shaw, like Mason Mount, like Casemiro, like, Yoro, every single player. Look, now we got Onana. And, that they keep getting injured. And this is no coincidence. It happened to Martial, it didn't. These players kept getting injured. Every time they come back, they're injured again. Now, I think this is two things. I think this is the medical department, but I also think it is the individual. I think it is the individual as well. I think there are players in our football team who get a little knock, who go missing for months and months, because they feel like it. Look at Luke Shaw. Anyone really truly believe that guy gets injured? Do you think that guy's ever been injured? I think that guy's a blagger. He's a chancer, in my opinion. Iwara, good afternoon, boss. Watching you from Ghana. Big up Ghana, my Ghana massive. What's going on? How far when Boomadil can go through? It will go through, Iwara. Keep the faith. Keep the hope, brother. Keep the hope. It's going to go through, my friend. It will do. I promise you. I'm saying that right now. I promise you. Absolutely. Ineos first second should have been the medical team, Jamie. Yeah, I've been saying that for years, Danny B. Years. Absolute years. Guys, I've been saying it for years. Before you guys are probably even born. I mean, Damien Biggerman should have been ruined. Absolutely. Been saying it for decades. 40 million for Watkins, 25 million for Martinez, 5 million from Leicester midfielder, and 55 million for Mbumo. I take that. However, I think we're getting to the price down from the Premier League clubs before we let me have a look at this. Sorry, I didn't get that. But yeah, I get splash the cash in Europe. You know what I would say, Gaza? I would love that, mate. I'll be honest. I'll be real with you, bruv. I would love that. I would love that to happen. I absolutely would. But I'm just looking at the way things are at the moment. It's very bleak. It's very doom and gloom, isn't it? I would love something like that to happen. I would love Man United to get some players in, regardless who it is at the moment. Because at the moment, what we're looking at, the thing with the Leicester midfielder, Ndidi, let me say though, Gaza, is he's very injury prone. Very injury prone. He's missed endless amounts of football because of injury. And I don't want Man United going down that road again. Do you know what I mean? I don't want Man United going down that road again. Absolutely not. Miles. Manchester is the only club as big as we are, but they are not in a mess that we are forever. My spirit should be dampened. God bless you. As always, Sal, on your channel. Thank you so much, Miles. Really appreciate you, brother, and you're spot on with that. Absolute spot on with that, of course. Big Marge, what's going on? Beraldo is shot. He cost PSG the game against Chelsea. Doesn't mean that, you know what, Steven Gerrard cost Liverpool the league. You know what I mean? Ain't it, Big Marge? You know, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that he's going to be bad forever. Players make mistakes, man. He's young. He's 21. They make mistakes. That's what you have to realize. You know what I mean? I'm not going to paint him with the same brush and think, do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, this is this and this is that. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Okay, sorry guys. Yeah, Beraldo is shit. He got PSG against Chelsea. Yeah, he said that twice. I can read once, I think. So we have to do something before it's too late. In the regeneration started, they will be here. I've already started, mate. I've already started writing tweets and stuff like that to Lord Cole and things like that. I've already done all that, guys. Absolutely. Ciao. Some fans wanted Amram to finish top 6 in the new season. Either way, they don't know ball, or is it just that they want to accept the reality? No, Ciao. Let me tell you something, mate. This is not a reality. Let me tell you something about football, Chow. I'm going to stick to American football with your Yanks, right? Let me tell you something, right? You do not start aiming low. Stop talking about top 6, top 8, top this. Don't talk like that, because at the end of the day, as soon as you start talking like that, the Glazers will love it, Chow, because they'll say, the standards are low. We don't have to spend. The more you talk like that, the more you talk like a loser, the more this is going to happen, mate. The more that they're going to start thinking, you know what? Yes, you know what? Their standards are low. Realism or not realism, don't start talking like that, because we are Manchester United. No offense, Chow, but don't start talking like that. Talk for yourself. Talk for your club over there. Don't talk about Man United like that, because at the end of the day, they will love that. They will love that. And we don't want to talk about top 6, top 8, top 10. We have expectations. We are Manchester bloody United. You think Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, do you think they will do things like that? Do you think Barcelona would do things like that? AC Milan don't even do things like that, and they're shit at the moment. So we got to stop that nonsense, talking about that. It's not realism. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, what they're talking about, what people should have high expectations of Man United. We should have. Didn't this team come third a couple of years ago? No, why can't they do it again? What's going on, Chow? What's the difference? What's going on there? Why can't they do it again? Because they don't have the mentalities. But what I will say is this, guys. Do not feed into the stupid Glazer, Ineos logic, which is basically down-tooling their expectations. Don't do that. Thank you. We shouldn't solely rely on Cunha. They only signed Leon, as well as a lot of things to learn. Big up, Kenny. Absolutely. Absolutely, mate. Big up, my friend. I like how we relied on Bruno for years. Yeah, absolutely. Big up, Kenny. Hope you're doing well. Bruno is factually the worst United captain ever. What's missing is the 8th, 15th should have taken the 100 million. Mark, you know what? I think many people share your sentiments, my friend. I think many people share your sentiments, and I think many people are on the same boat as you, brother. But at the end of the day, it is what it is now, isn't it? I mean, Ruben Amorim, what was said to him when he came to United? Probably broken promises, Ephraim. Probably a lot of broken promises. Probably what we've been hearing ourselves, they've been talking to Ruben Amorim about. You know, what we've been hearing ourselves. You know what I mean? They probably said to Ruben Amorim, we're going to look after you in the summer. We're going to get this player in the summer. We're prepared. We know, blah, blah, blah. We got 2 lists. We got this list. We got that list. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. And lo and behold, here we are. You know what I mean? LT. Our main priority signing should have been a striker, a goalkeeper. Yet we spent 6 weeks to sign another number 10. Is low priority. It's the same cycle. Panic buys. No, LT. Mbeumo's a very important player. And Mbeumo's a game changer. Trust me, Mbeumo's a game changer. Mbeumo's a game changer. Bruno's not the number 10 we need. He's not. We need another number 10. He plays 2 number 10s. We need Mbeumo and we need Cunha. That will help us score goals. The biggest problem for Man United last season was scoring goals, right? So that means the two number 10s and the striker. We need to sort that out first. And when we sort that out first, then we can concentrate on what else is going on. Because the last 2 seasons, we had a minus goal difference, right? And that's not only because of Rasmus, right? We've had Xerxes, we've had other players as well. That's because of the 2 number 10s. Now, we need Mbeumo. Mbeumo's a very important player. Mbeumo's a beast. Let me tell you, so underrated. Absolutely, we need him. Big up Kenny. No more individual brilliance. Absolutely. Facts, I hate them, but you can't deny we have never finished 15th under the Glazers, even though the pain, the praise them. Look, we were heading that way, Jamie, anyway. We were heading that way. We're heading towards that way. Personally, I don't care if we finish 10th or 15th. It's the same thing to me. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, what it is that they haven't improved. Manchester United has Ineos made Man United better? No. They made us worse. Technically, they've made us worse. This is probably the worst transfer window of all time, and no one's denying that. This is exactly what we've been talking about for weeks. People call you negative. People call you all these names. But this is the worst Manchester United transfer window since the transfer window under David Moyes. You know, when we just brought in, Fellaini in the last minute and stuff like that, you know. SD, please Sal. I'll be fuming if we let go of Mbeumo. I don't think we're going to do it because it'll make Man United look even more incompetent than they already look. Do you know what I mean? Kenny, blame culture for 12 years. Absolutely, bruv. It's been down tooling from there. Absolutely. Big up Fire. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're well, brother. Hope you're good. Good to see you, mate. By the way, I'm from South Africa. Big up South Africa. Love South Africa. Hopefully, we'll be visiting one day, guys. We'll be visiting South Africa one day. Brilliant people in South Africa and big football people. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Blessed. Big up Amir. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Good to see Mr. Positive in the house again. What's going on, Amir? Hope you're well. Hope you're blessed. Good to see you, mate. Hope everything is good with you. Medical team will love indeedy then. Yeah. Yeah, another one bites the dust, isn't it? Any managers would struggle with this owners, even Prime Pet. Anyone would, Ephraim. And this is something that people have to understand. All these other content creators are already planting the seed against Ruben Amorim. All those guys are already planting the seed against Ruben Amorim. Listen, guys, you know what? I have no time for them because I know what they're going to do. Oh, you know what, bruv? He's a Portuguese fraud, bruv. You know what, bruv? You know what? I've been watching this club for 40 years, bruv. I watched seen the treble, bruv. You know, we're going to see that, mate. You know, we're going to see that all next season. Don't worry about that. If anything goes wrong, they're not going to talk about the window. They're not going to talk about, the owners, which they never do anyway, because it doesn't get them clout. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, but we're going to see it. Big up, Johnny. Hi, Sal. Any updates with the Rios deal? Would it be ideal to spend that much money on Martinez? Why we could buy 500-600 to John Botafigo seems Glazers think differently. You know what I think, Johnny AI, my friend? You know what I think? I think that they are more interested in selling shirts and feel like they can sell more shirts with Martinez than a John Victor. I think they think that, right? I completely agree with Johnny here. I think Man United should buy Richard Rios and should try and be more smart and more shrewd in this market. I think they should be. I think Richard Rios is an absolute fantastic player. Will we sign Richard Rios? I'll be surprised. I'll be surprised if Man United go for him. And he's cheap as chips as well, isn't he? He's cheap as well. Absolutely. NDD. Exactly. Let's not buy anyone called NDD. Let's not do that. Absolutely. UK Rap, big up UK Rap. How you doing, man? Listen to the Sal. So, of course, everything you may learn something. Oh, man, big up my community. Love my community, guys. Absolutely. Big up everyone who's on this chat. Big up. Yeah, but yeah, you got to show respect to the one and only. Only joking, guys. Think fast, talk smart. Think fast, talk smart. Yeah. Big up UK Rap. Big up Kenny. Absolutely. No top six ain't good enough. I grew up watching us win the league. I've seen every single title, Jamie. You know, every single title. I'm not talking about top six, top four. I'm tired of that business, Jamie. You know that. I'm tired of these ownerships buying time. You know, they're buying time. Buy more time. We're in 2028. We're going to win the league. I don't care what you're going to do in 2028. What are you going to do next season? I don't want you to buy time just so you can get closer to that regeneration project. Do you know what I mean? I don't want that. You know what I mean? I want you to concentrate what's going to happen this season, guys. Amorim is very handsome, smart, beautiful. Same like me. Amir, at the moment, I don't know what you look like. You have an A. I'm a married man, but you know what? You have an A in your name. So definitely, I don't know what you look like, mate. That's absolutely. So good for you, mate. We should have been competing by now, but this club has been neglected. We have the worst ownerships in football, pound for pound, of course. Amir, king of comebacks. Amram, king of comebacks. A lot of people just wait and see. Be patient with Amram next season. Absolutely. Waiting for Nimbumo. Big up myself. Big up Amir. The manager will be the least to be responsible next season to back him. But you know what? You would say that, Ephraim. But give it a few weeks and you're going to see certain people turning against the manager. We're not. We're 100% not going to be turning against the manager. But you are going to see certain people turning against the manager in an instant. We lose to Arsenal, you're going to see it. You're going to see it straight away. Man United have Arsenal, Chelsea, City in the opening game, 5 games of the season. Man United could quite possibly, realistically, lose 3 games in the opening 5. Might even do more. It might even be worse. It could be all over by them in regards to the fan base, in regards to throwing the manager under the bus and blaming the manager. Even then, at that early stage, they won't remember the transfer window. They won't think about the transfer window. They'll think the same logic. None of these so-called supporters, and you know who they are, those content creators out there, they never talk about the Busby Babes. They never talk about Sir Bobby Charlton. They never talk about Dennis Law, George Best, Duncan Edwards. They never talk about these guys. Why don't they talk about these guys? And I mean every single one of them who don't. Because they don't really love the club like that. They're using the club for clout. And that's what it is. I, however, love this football club, and I would urge any single one of those content creators to come on this channel and tell me how much they support Man United and tell me about the history of Manchester United, because that's what I want to know. Because how comes I've seen every single title under Sir Alex Ferguson, every single trophy that Sir Alex Ferguson won, and yet I'm being patient with the manager right now? Shouldn't I be the one who's demanding more? Now, I'm the one who's saying, listen, don't talk about the league position. Don't talk about we have to be realistic and come 8th. And we're not that team, guys. We do not do that because that lets the Ineos off the hook. That lets the Glazers off the hook. We say Man United should be challenging for major honours, and we expect Man United to be challenging for major honours. I don't care. It's 11 against 11. I want Man United challenging for major honours. That's what Man United should do. Let's knock down tall. But what we have to understand is if this window finishes like this and we only have Cunha through the door, I want people to understand that this is not down to the manager. This is the ownership. And I want people to put it in their head. I know they've got a lot of carbohydrates around their head, but somehow squeeze it in their bloody head. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Absolutely. Cunha, he's a top attacker. Big up Amir, of course. Jamie, what Brentford are asking for, pay it, and then Cunha, and with joint scores into a top league season. What the fuck are we doing? I agree with that, Jamie. Absolutely. I cannot underestimate and undervalue how important Mbeumo will be for Manchester United alongside Cunha. I can imagine that being an absolutely potent strike force. Really potent. And not only the fact that they play number 10. The thing with Mbeumo and Cunha, they can rotate, you know. They can rotate. They can play up front. They can play on the left. They can play on the right. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's dangerous. If you listen, guys, if you're playing up, look, for example, let me give an example, Jamie, right? If we were playing Arsenal in the first game of the season, right, which we are, and Arsenal had Mbeumo and Cunha, what would you be thinking? Be honest. What would you be thinking? It's big, but we need more, of course. Big up Coco, what's going on, my friend? Big up, we're in a relegation battle, lads. Brace up. No, we're not, Coco. Don't overreact. Sal, at the end of the day, United is too big a project for Ineos. We have taken those multiple bids from Sheikh Jassim bin Hamid Al Thani. Glazers are making a mess and they fall out of United. They're making a fool out of themselves as well, Steve, because everyone is clocking on to their game. They're not fooling anyone, are they, Steve? You know what I mean? They are really embarrassing themselves at the moment in the market, making themselves look poor, of course. So do you think Amram has the best relation with the owners? No. I think he has a necessary relationship. Basically, he has no choice but to have a relationship with them because they're the owners. And that's it. I don't think he likes them particularly. Reading through his body language, I can tell that he doesn't really like the Glazers now. I think he smiles through it. The one thing about Ruben Amorim, he smiles through a lot of stuff. And I always believe that when people smile a lot, he's looking at it and thinking, this is a mess. You know what I mean? Like that. He's like that. Do you know what I mean? This is an absolute shit show. You know what I mean? And that's what he's doing. Big up, Fireboy. Absolutely. Sad approach to scouting, that is. If there's a shirt sales that matters, the board should go and sign the Def Jam records. Quite sad. It is sad, Johnny. It is really sad. It is where we are at the moment. And, you know, when you start getting these, feelings of sinister thoughts about, Man United and about how we're approaching this transfer window, I started to think like this, right? That Man United are waiting until their jerseys, both jerseys, the purple one and the black jersey, are officially being released. And then, you know what? We're going to start signing players. And you know what? That is incompetent, isn't it, at the end of the day? And that only serves to harm Ruben Amorim, of course. Sal, do you think Amorim will tell the truth about transfers in the press conference? No. As much as he should, I don't think he will. I think what Ruben Amorim should do, if he doesn't get backed, but I don't think he would do it, I think that Ruben Amorim should walk, but he won't do it because of the money that's involved in it, of course, Johnny, Def Jam Records, mate, the club circus control. Def Jam are dead a long time ago, though. Big up. LT, you're right, Sal. The problem is that the window is a failure and things will go wrong during the season. People will forget the window and crucify it. And I personally won't blame him because it's insanity, LT. I know you're a smart guy. And I know a lot of people in this community are smart and they know what they're talking about in regards to football. We all have our own differences of opinion. Sometimes we're not the same. You know what I mean? No one is born to be the same. And that's what's great about life in general, that, we can come to a conclusion of what we really want. But ultimately, what we want is a successful Manchester United team. We're all in that same boat, right? And the thing is, right, is that, I'm going to seize people next season and I'm going to call them out again, that the people who are turning against Ruben Amorim, forgetting about this window, at the end of the day. They've done it last season. It didn't help. It doesn't help anyone, and they're going to do it this season. Not looking at the fact that if Ruben Amorim is not backed this summer, no manager's going to be backed. Let me tell you that right now. No manager is going to be backed. If they're not backing Ruben Amorim, no manager is going to be backed. So you might as well chuck that out the window. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. We should be starting the ownership in regards to how bad the season is. Absolutely, Jamie. I was doing the same when we were winning titles and stuff like that, when the Glazers were there. I was still had my green and gold scarf on. I was still Glazers out. We want Glazers out. You know what I mean? We should never lose the energy in regards to them. Absolutely, Jamie. If window carries on like this, Amorim will walk away. I hope he does, Randy. You know what I say? I hope he does. I hope he does walk away. I hope he does. I really hope he does walk away. I really pray that he walks away. That would be embarrassing for Ineos. If he walked away, he has the right to say what he wants. You know what I mean? If he walks away, he can do what he wants. He can say what he wants. You know what I mean? I would love if Ruben Amorim did that. I really would. Big up, Amir. Big up, my friend. I hope you're well, of course. Big up. Coco, the proof is that there was no plan in Acuna was a target and Boomer offered himself. The others are just links. The club hates us. Big up, my friend. Not the club. The personnel, the club love us. The club is everything. The fans of Manchester United are everything, Coco. Let me tell you that right now. But they are not. They don't treat us like that. They treat us like peasants. Manchester United Football Club came from the working class. Let me just tell you that. It came from people like me and you, bruv. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And you know what? They are neglecting that. They're getting their greedy paws on that, those ownerships. It is them. Ineos, the Glazers, Jim Ratcliffe, all those guys there. Not the football club, but them. You know what I mean? They're the ones who got their dirty mittens on this working man's football club that they're trying to profit off with the regeneration project. Big up, Coco. And Boomer is a game changer. Them 2 goals he scored for fun and stats like it's great. He's a game changer, mate. I'll say that all day, mate. Absolutely imperative that Man United sign him. If Man United don't sign him, Jamie, I mean, I think that we, might as well give up. You know what I mean? Kenny, Hoyland might improve with Cunha and Mbeumo. I don't know. That's just me. I saw a clip. Well, you don't know, do you, Kenny? Exactly. You don't know what can happen. It just takes a spark, doesn't it? You get Mbeumo together with Cunha. You never know what can happen, isn't it? At the end of the day, they might serve Rasmus well, and Rasmus might get opportunity to score goals. You never know. It does take a spark. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. V33, my friend. What's going on? Chicago Bulls faded away after Phil Jackson left them. Our beloved, I saw Chicago Bulls back in 2008, by the way. Our beloved MU started to rot after Sir Alex Ferguson. Now we are just festering in our own toxic feces, and I won't be surprised at relegation next. There you go. I don't think we're going to get relegated, mate. I don't think we should be talking about that. I don't think we're going to get relegated, my friend. No. I'm running a sweep only because the rest of the teams are shit. You know what I mean? I'm running a sweep. Who will do the back heel and sends United down? Dan James, Alenga, Mbebri, or Garnacho? Let me think. Nokeres. Ineos dragging the signings to save the wages. We have to pay the weekly. Absolutely. AI, Sal, maybe you could run as through our chances for the next 5 games. What do you think? Have a funny feeling United has been surprises. Johnny, I wanted to do this before the season started. Once I knew what transfers we got through the door. Currently, the way the team is, I'd run them through. Like Arsenal, I think we'll beat Arsenal. Laugh at me all you want. I think you beat Arsenal. I think we beat Arsenal. I think we draw with Fulham. I think we beat Burnley. I think we lose to City. And I think we draw against Chelsea. It's not ideal. It's not amazing. But that's what I think we have right now. That is the best scenario for me with this team right now. It could be far worse than that, I know. But I want to see, what happens, guys. Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Absolute legends. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And also, please don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. Also, don't forget to put your notifications on. Because in case of anything miraculously breaks, of course, guys. You never know, do you? But thank you so much for joining me. You all are absolute legends, guys. And I will be back tomorrow for Breaking Doom regardless. So see you then. And yeah, enjoy it. You know what? Because it's going to be a rocky ride, guys. Take it easy. Have a great day, great night, wherever you are in the world. Stay blessed. Take it easy. Peace.